Oh,
I
okay.
can make
All right.
it live on the stream.
Should allow me to hear it like once that comes across the stream. Do you change the background like that right there? Now you go ahead and
Turning
say
the audio
something.
on.
Okay, the audio's on. Yep. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is Chuck.
And testing 1, 2, 3. This is Tim.
Brother, wake up.
Fellow humans, we ask, can we together deliver peace and healing to heart and mind? Ulysses reheard the words being replayed.
Udicci.TV is ready to roll again, picking up where we left off and ready for another season. And this year, it is time to scoot. Time to reconnect with old friends and introduce new. Time to recommit to worthy goals and work toward worthy results. It's a time to pick up the pace, and it's a time to win. It is time to scoot. Hi, my name is Chuck. I am the co-op brand builder, and I'm the host of Thursday Night Social. And this year on Thursday Night Social, we're talking marketplace well-being and continuing to connect with emerging brands, staking a claim in the wild west of technology, and exploring economic theories for human good. Hi, I'm Chuck, the co-op brand builder and host of Thursday Night Social. And now back to Tim.
Alrighty. Well, I think we've made it back.
Excellent. We are back. And let's see here. What have I done here? I don't know what I'm seeing. I've messed up my whole. I have to get rid of that. And now everything's back to better on my side too, which is just excellent. So earlier, obviously we talked about the frustrations of last week's episode's technical difficulties. And this week we've had just more of the same.
A few more.
But we kind of said, you know what? That's the whole point, is leave that behind. So we did not want to just kind of let the night go and not finish what we had planned to start simply because there were some other technical difficulties. So we are back to finish up part two in tonight's segment. And this is really just conversations about this idea of social sessions for production teams. But really, it's about, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to be, and what do you want to actually accomplish in your life? And we're going to get into deeper parts of those conversations in just a bit. But Tim, if you want to cue up the character one, across the universe character video, we'll kind of kick this off with that conversation. And yeah, by the way, do you want to kind of move back inside?
What do you mean move back inside?
Well, right now we're outside.
Oh, okay.
Right, our background's outside.
Yes.
Right, so yeah, I think like we should go ahead and play the video, and then we should move inside.
Okay. Let's see if it. Hopefully it works, and I'll try to change the background in the meantime.
Okay.
What do you actually intend to do with your life?
Why is it always about what will you do? What will you do? What will he do? Oh my God, what will he do? Do.
Not hearing it. Not hearing it any place. All right.
Okay, hold on a minute.
What you do defines who you are.
No, Uncle Teddy.
Doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing.
Defines what you do. Right, Jude?
I'll see if actually, as soon as I see it come up on the.
What you do, but it's the way.
Oh, I haven't gone live yet. Oh, are you kidding me?
I
didn't go live.
With your life?
Why is it always about what will you do?
Uh-oh.
What will you do? What will he do?
Ah,
oh my
you
God,
wanna-
what will he do? Do.
Start all over?
Do you want to wait?
I mean, do you think you can get the sound going on this?
I did. I just had it.
Oh, the sound is ready? All right,
Yep.
so I guess, I guess we just get ready to roll from the beginning again. I mean, we're only 3 minutes into it,
to all
so
the Instagram user. No, not Instagram. What are we going to?
LinkedIn. Yeah.
LinkedIn. Okay.
All right. So are you ready for me to go live over there? Well, I'm going to wait until I have the stream. So we're going to go to this. We're going to go to, well, I guess we're just going to come back into our regular opener, right, with brother, and then I'm going to read through that again, and we're just going to continue on as if we never did that one. So in just a moment, I have Thursday Night Social now on the stream. So we are going to go live. It's going to take a few seconds to go live. And after this goes live,
We'll be right back.
brother. Wake up.
Fellow humans, we ask, can we together deliver peace and healing to heart and mind?
Ulysses reheard the words being replayed.
Welcome to Thursday Night Social. It is time to scoot. Udicci.TV is ready to roll again, picking up where we left off. It's time for another season, and this year it is time to scoot. It's time to reconnect with old friends and introduce new friends. Time to recommit to worthy goals and work toward worthy results. It's time to pick up the pace, and it is time to win. It is time to scoot. Hi, I am Chuck, the co-op brand builder and host of Thursday Night Social. This year on Thursday Night Social, we're still talking about marketplace well-being and continuing to connect with emerging brands, staking a claim in the wild west of technology and exploring economic theories for human good. Hi, I am Chuck, the co-op brand builder and host of Thursday Night Social. And now back to Tim.
All right. After the, third time going live tonight?
Is it?
I think we're doing a pretty good job now.
Is it okay? Now, like, I actually have to figure out how to shut off what I'm doing down here. So yeah, Thursday, third time. So
Thursday Night Social.
And that's and again, that's all just fine. So for those who were tuned in earlier on LinkedIn, thank you. And if you're tuning in again, awesome. We're not going to continue to go over the frustrations. I mean, obviously some of the technology issues still remain, but that's not the point, because the point is really to kind of persevere and sort of become. And that's really what we're going to be talking about in this next half hour is, encouraging kind of the full purpose of your work. And we're going to explore that a little bit by, doing a quick introduction to technology and customer experience, and then really get into what it is that you want to do with your life. So with that, I think, Tim, it looks like maybe we're ready to run with the across the universe. What do you intend to do? And then once that's going, we will come
What do you
right
actually
back and
intend to do with your
say
life?
maybe
Why
move
is it
inside.
always about what will you do? What will you do?
Okay.
What will he do? Oh my God, what will he do? Do. Why isn't
I
the issue here
am
who
not
I
hearing
am?
sound again.
Because, Maxwell, what you do defines who you are.
Okay,
Uncle
as long as
Tim,
it's going out to the
who you
stream,
are
that's fine.
defines what you do. Right, Jude?
Right now, on LinkedIn,
Surely
just says
it's
Udicci offers
what you do,
perspective.
but
Here comes
it's the way that you do it.
that piece. Shoot, I'm way behind.
All right.
Okay, so I'm way behind on the stream. I mean, it's like literally just going past brother there. So anyway, so you were able to hear. So you were able to hear that, and when you listen. So when you listen to that, what's going on? What's that the dynamic around that table, and what is that really all about?
I'd never seen the movie, so I know that's one of your movies that you kind of brought to the table. I didn't ever go back and watch it, but I've heard it about 1,000 times, obviously, but I don't know that I really have something to say. Hell, I don't know.
Okay. So it's an interesting thing, right? Because so what basically happened there is that the son had sort of just decided he was going to drop out of college, and of course, in the 60s, they're like, so what are you going to do? And what are you going to do with your life? And you've got the uncle there, and basically the two parental figure there in his life are basically saying, what you do in your life sort of determines your identity. And then he turns around and says something like, well, maybe it's not what you do, but it's who you are. And then they turn to Jude and he says, well, surely it's more how you do it. Right. So it's kind of like trying to deliver home that like the reasoning behind the work that you choose to do. So kind of where I was going to begin that. But from our world, it's a little bit easier to probably understand from a Steve Jobs, and I have that one queued up. But one of the things as we watch this one, just kind of get this one ready. Had the opportunity recently to get introduced to a number of different architectures for building different business, sales development models, all those different pieces. And one of the ones I've seen a couple times recently is called the entrepreneurial operating system. And it's just a well-defined process to really help have clear accountability toward achieving your objectives. And I've not gone through this, so I'm not having really any opinion about it because I certainly don't know it well enough. But as I look through it, I'm thinking like, wow, that's really a way of staying focused to truly accomplish what it is you're trying to accomplish. And I think that that's a wonderful thing, and that all of us should be looking at having that kind of quality, structure, and accountability in our life. But then there's another piece which I was kind of over eavesdropping in many ways on a conversation with another project in development, if you will. And in that one, the meeting was a little bit more flexible, a little bit more like, hey, let's have some conversation. And we're kind of entrepreneurship. Sometimes it's a little fun where you start thinking about not only what we're going to do next, but what we can do maybe 2 years down the road. And like then the vision. Okay, so Tim was changing something? Yep.
No, we don't have audio going to Udicci.TV again.
Well, we have it out to LinkedIn. So let's just concern ourselves with LinkedIn right now, because at least let's continue that going. We've got a couple people that have tuned in on LinkedIn. So let's kind of continue the conversation and let's kind of just not worry about the technology the rest of the time. Otherwise we're going to play the next Steve Jobs piece of it. And like, after we play this, it's kind of like, I'll have you, when you listen here, you're going to see a very interesting dynamic at play. And it's about a 3-minute video. So I just want us to take in the video as a whole. And when we come back, sort of really talk about like, most of us at this point understand both sides of this conversation quite well. And then it's like, okay, you got to choose one of the mindsets that we're about to see inside of here. And why are you going to choose one mindset over the other? So go ahead and roll the Steve Jobs customer experience and put it full screen, please, if you will, so that when it goes out via YouTube, out to LinkedIn, it'll be easier to be seen.
All right, give me a minute
if you can do that. Okay, and I'm checking the audio right now on LinkedIn, and that all still looks pretty good.
You're a bright and
yes.
Okay.
Mr. Jobs.
So let me kind of move back here. Good, you got it right.
Here it comes.
It's sad and clear that on several counts you've discussed, you don't know what you're talking about.
Hear
it? No, but that's okay.
I would like,
as long as it's
example,
playing out, I'm not going to worry about that. I watched it earlier. I've watched it twice.
Say Java, in any of its incarnations, addresses the ideas embodied in OpenDoc. And when you're finished with that, perhaps you could tell us what you personally have been doing for the last 7 years.
You can please some of the people. Yes.
Mr. Jobs, you're a bright and influential man.
Here it comes.
Yeah,
I figured it out. Clear that several counts you don't know what you're talking about.
You can go ahead and
I would like.
I mean, as long as the sound went out the first time, we don't need to watch this second.
No, it didn't.
How say Java, in any of its incarnation addresses the ideas embodied in OpenDoc. And when you're finished with that, perhaps you could tell us what you personally have been doing for the last 7 years.
You know, you can please some of the people some of the time, but one of the hardest things when you're trying to affect change is that people like this gentleman are right in some areas. I'm sure that there are some things OpenDoc does, probably even more that I'm not familiar with, that nothing else out there does. And I'm sure that you can make some demos, maybe a small commercial app that demonstrates those things. The hardest thing is, how does that fit in to a cohesive, larger vision that's going to allow you to sell $8 billion, $10 billion of product a year? And one of the things I've always found is that you've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it. And I've made this mistake probably more than anybody else in this room. And I've got the scar tissue to prove it. And I know that it's the case. And as we have tried to come up with a strategy and a vision for Apple, it started with what incredible benefits can we give to the customer? Where can we take the customer? Not starting with, let's sit down with the engineers and figure out what awesome technology we have, and then how are we going to market that? And I think that's the right path to take.
when you're willing to stand up in front of this extraordinarily talented group of people and be willing to be held accountable at that level and ready to kind of defend your own answer. And so like these environments are kind of important, but no doubt challenging. And one of the things I was really thinking about is how do you go about making sure that you have time for that, but also just time to explore creatively who it is you really want to be, or what it is you really want to do, not because not because what you do determines who you are and that becomes your identity, but because you're totally, truly sold out personally to why it is you choose to do what it is you're choosing to do. So that's what I wanted to do, is just kind of create some time and make some time available here to really hear from you. Like, Tim, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life?
Hold on a second. So I want to make a difference in businesses, small businesses, and I think that using technology is one aspect of it, but also bringing a different level of culture or a different look at perspectives of what culture should be, and try to break some of the molds of what we're seeing in society right now. So a lot of times there's a lot of stress that is happening inside of these organizations, and it can all be alleviated by better communication, by better understanding, by better better data in the hands of the people that need it.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. At the same time, we don't have audio going out to LinkedIn. So that's kind of interesting.
We do now.
We do now?
Yeah. Wait for it
When
to
did
catch
we
up.
not?
It was off.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it didn't get turned back on when we switched back over from the video.
Oh, okay. So one of the things you started out by saying is like you want to help small businesses. Like, start there. Why? I mean, why do you want to help small business?
Because I think that man, that's a loaded question and can be answered in 1,000 different ways. But I think that the main reason is because I think that small business and entrepreneurs can create a stronger middle class. And I think that our middle class is really struggling right now. And I think that we need more small businesses, more people willing to take a risk. And I think that we need more people supporting those small businesses. And we've become so accustomed to like the Amazons of the world or the Facebooks of the world, or, the big businesses of the world that kind of control the technology in ways that, they support small business, but not in a way that I think is beneficial, that at least that my customers are seeing as beneficial anymore. Because I actually had talked to a couple of people who have said that they would rather find a different platform than Facebook or some of the other ones that are available, Twitter.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the market is sort of ripe for grand segmentation in interesting ways and falling apart. But so what is it like when you think about helping small business, and all the things you talked about were incredibly valid, right? Like if we can help strengthen small business, then we're sort of helping to strengthen that middle class America. And that middle class America is really what generally, like they say, is what carries the economic burden upon their shoulder very often, which is,
Right.
Everybody likes to say we need to go after the really wealthy, and nobody wants to actually go after those in poverty. But they're really very often, which is uber wealthy. Like, take all of their wealth, it still doesn't necessarily make a big impact. And so
Right.
I mean it all matters, but it's like, let's be real about actually developing something that's solid and good for a lot of people, and let's not just do it because we have an opinion. Let's actually look at the heart of the matter. And that's what I'd be curious about, is like, what's the why do you want to serve? Like, what is it, like, not even how, but how do you want to serve them? Like, what is it that you would like to do for small businesses? You, Tim, very specifically.
Oh, I bring.
What do you think? What do you, not what you bring? What do you want to deliver? Like, what do you want to give to them?
Efficiency.
So that's what you want. Okay, so why efficient? Like, what does efficiency do for you? What is that like?
Well, I think it does for a lot of people is that it actually, it provides a lot less stress because you're getting things done more effectively, efficiently, and you're not adding stress, and you're that, I think with that comes accountability. I think some other things that comes along with, kind of, well, I lost my train of thought.
Well, the stress piece is an important piece, right? Like, so basically that's like, in part because you just want to like care for the actual human behind the business, right? Because the business itself has no stress, right? Yeah.
Well, as I have one customer right now who, their front office is getting just devastated because they are so overwhelmed and they are so inefficient in the way that they're dealing with the customers, and it's actually coming across as like a negativity, and it's actually getting represented out into the public. So I think that tends to hurt the small businesses. And when you go to like an Amazon and you get a call and you can talk to somebody and they're pleasant to you, and it's you want that experience. Whereas this other one, they're stressed out and they're trying to make it and they're living day to day just like everyone around us, and they end up just stressing out more because of the fact that they can't keep up with the demand.
That's interesting too. I mean, you bring up a very interesting thought. Is like larger corporations certainly have the money to sort of hyper specialize, so that if you do happen to ever get past all the automation and end up talking with a human through calling like one of the Amazons of the world or the bigger companies, and that human's probably in some other part of the world, and that's fine. They have been so coached on being pleasant, right? Because that's their job, is to be pleasant and good. They're getting food put on their table, over on the other side of the country. But that stress that then gets put on the small business person who maybe just is sort of over capacity. Let's say they're trying to carry too much, and then all of a sudden that spills out into the marketplace. And it's like that frustration we had last week. And it's like, you don't want to be like vomiting all over everybody all the time, because then people will sit there and go, well, you know what? It's just easier to order on Amazon.
Exactly. And that's part of the problem that I think we're facing right now, is that there's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's, it's what comes first, people treating you nice, or them treating them treating you nice, or you treating them nice. And a lot of it comes down to what we can control is ourselves. So you try to start there, and then you try to help with what gifts and what abilities and stuff that we can bring to the table to kind of help alleviate some of that stress.
So let's talk about the gift side of it. So if, let's say, the skill is efficiency that you want to bring to the market, what's the gift?
The gift is the ability to see, I guess, from a technology standpoint, what they call boundary testing. So being able to see from the very center point and then kind of the blossoms of what could potentially happen, and being able to take all of those routes and identify what works best and what way kind of gets you to the end point quicker or more effectively.
And it's interesting when you start to apply boundary testing, or not even boundary testing, but just the ideas behind boundary testing, and you start to help like sort of see people in that way. You start to see where maybe they're getting stretched beyond where it's healthy for them, and you can start to logically compartmentalize, okay, this stress is being caused by too much data entry. This stress is being caused by poor system management. But the reality is it's stress that needs to be managed there.
Right.
And it just so happens to sometimes look like data.
Yes.
Which is very,
well, and it's not necessarily, it doesn't look like data. It is data. And I think what it is it's the right information. You know, like I'm creating the customer dashboard for the customer that we're working with now. And one of the things when I showed the customer the dashboard, it was pretty fun because when you look at it, everything is right there in front of you that you need. If a customer calls, you can see everything you need. You don't need to go any other screens. You do a quick search, click it, and you're done. And once you have that information in front of you, now you know what are they coming at you with and what do you have to defend with. So now you kind of know that you're going to be on the same page within the next couple of minutes, and it becomes much easier to manage customers because you're going to have the same information that they're looking at. And if you're all looking at the same information and there's no confusion there, now there's less conflict in the communication.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting because, right, information itself can help to mitigate stress, right? And because information itself, when we're in the world we're talking about, like it can have its biases, right? We get that all information can have a bias, but you know, when we're talking about more transactionally oriented and product driven and delivery didn't get there on time stuff, that's a little bit different, right? And we understand that like people are going to meet people with frustration, and just having access to some simple information sort of allows maybe some of the over dramatic speech that would go into like nothing ever arrives on time, and you're able to go, well, 99.9% of the time it actually does. But however you'd go about saying that. Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. So again, if we were to kind of put a little title around the role that you want to bring to the marketplace, then we sort of say, what do we say? An efficiency de-stressor?
De-stressing, an aggressive de-stressing.
An aggressive de-stressing. And that's kind of all we were really wanting to do tonight anyways, was to make sure that we didn't leave frustrated again, that, like last time, it was an aggressive de-stressing, right? Trying to do the job better. And to your point, like that's all we're dealing with right now is a bunch of little details. And, those details just are not currently able to be driven in a way or seen in a way that can kind of reduce some of the stress that, you're experiencing with the technology stuff. But it is stressful. There's no doubt that technical issues can certainly have, really cause problems all over the place. But I think
but I'll be honest with you, compared to like 2013, when we first got the desktop and we were struggling to try to get streams out, even videos to come into the computer. I mean, everything was a challenge, like a significant challenge even back then. And using the peer-to-peer stuff, I think is definitely, I don't know if it's a learning curve or if we're just having some minimal issues, but since we
in the end, it doesn't seem to be the peer-to-peer, right? It does technically, like in this case, it was that video was playing that I sent you, and that ultimately, like you trying to solve that issue is just changing a bunch of stuff around, like, okay. And it was just one of those random deep things that happened. So it wasn't even, I don't think it's peer-to-peer. I mean, there's definitely times that like weird things are happening. And like, like right now I'm still running 2 meg healthy and all that kind of stuff. But
the other thing I did do, just so you know, is I did turn off the pro audio on this round. So one of the things that it does, what it does say is the audio will cause feedback issues. And so when I turned that off, everything seems to be okay since then. So I'm wondering if it was that.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to have to sort of be able to spend some time going through the visuals and probably setting up like this. So this is what I mean by inside, right? This is the inside setting, right? And the outside one is completely different. And now I'm like, okay, this isn't quite inside. But yeah, we're gonna have to, and we've got to get some new images updated there. But all right, well, this is cool.
Yeah,
The
I
second
have the
half,
other one. I just grabbed the other one. I grabbed the wrong one.
okay, yeah, I'm not even sure all the ones that we have. I think I have a few more for different things, right? And I guess that these are all really just scenes.
Yes.
And as long as we're kind of just keeping you and I in this sort of general idea of a green screen blackout, we can move us around pretty easily.
Yes.
Getting to the point where we have that video playing between us, that's going to be a little bit more of a,
so
little work, but it shouldn't be hard though.
That's this. Hold on a second. We can still hear each other, but
okay. Right, that's that. And then how are you running the video in that?
Pardon me. I just do an overlay inside of the blackboard.
An overlay inside of the blackboard of what? URL or of a video?
Well, just a browser window in OBS.
Okay. So cool. I mean, that probably is going to be the easy way. In that view that you just had, I still kind of assumed that, we could stay there because that would be like us then watching that video. But if you notice, the lights turned around and shine toward it, right?
Yes, I did.
So to me, I'm like, yeah, like we can still stay right there. And that allows us to sort of like, okay, we're tuned into that. And we could make a full screen if we want to, but that would be kind of like at least where we're talking a little bit more. I think it'd feel more social that way.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
All righty. Well, we can, I guess, go ahead and say that part 2 is found its end. And go ahead and call it a night.
We made it.
Yeah, we made it. Yeah, this wasn't so bad other than, like you said, coming back from, and that's probably where you were talking about the touch. Probably need to start automating a lot of those so that they automatically turn back on.
I got my Stream Deck back up, and boy, what a difference that made tonight. That's big.
Yeah, and that's good, right? And that's exactly so. Some of those when we come back, audio done, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the only other audio thing is that I lost was when the video was going. Oh no, we got that back at the end there. That's right, we got that back at the end. So cool.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, that wraps another week of a few more tweaks, and I still got the max headroom thing working here, and I'm totally good with that. I'm fine with that. Yours isn't near as bad. Yeah. And I think
that's a little bright.
Right. I still don't have a good background behind me. So it's not even like on my side, the virtual green screen does. I mean, you can start to see it bleeds into here, and obviously, right. So
I'm gonna hang the big green screen up so that I can do this, and you can see my arms.
Right. That's going to be the next thing, is to really try to do that, because I think that we both talk with our hands, so there's got to be
high five,
like something more than this. Right? High five. Yeah, we should be able to stretch them over there. So.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, any last thoughts before we close out the night?
No. How do you want to close out? Do you want to go through a video, or you just want to watch the regular wrap it up?
Oh, I don't know what the wrap it up is, but yeah, sure. Let's
just
watch
goes
that.
through some simple stuff.
All right. Then sure, let's do that.
Do that. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.